Welcome back to Give STL Day 2025 live. My name is Chris Strubb, the Giving Day guy. Welcome to the St. Louis Community Foundation offices. We're something like 6 live streams down and 3 to go. Let's take a look here at the lineup for our 4 p.m. broadcast that's kicking off right now. We are going to start here in a moment with a virtual call-in from our friends at On Angels Wings. At 4:10, we've already got them seated here. Nice, bright and early, the St. Charles County Fire Rehab Squad. Kindness Begins With Me at 4:17. We've got Jimmy from the Endangered Wolf Center is also here already. At 4:31, we've got Radio Readers. 4:38, the St. Louis Community College Foundation. And then 4:45 p.m., we'll wrap up Nikki's tenure here with Gateway 180. Nikki, are you having fun? We're heading into your second of 2 back-to-back hours here.
Of course. This isn't even like work. Give the STL Day is so much fun. We get to wear our t-shirts and we just get to enjoy the day and get to hang out with all of our nonprofit friends, which is just so much fun.
There is also all the Diet Coke that Nikki can drink.
Yes, I have been, it's a party day, so I have been eating and drinking Diet Coke and not eating healthy, and I'm fine with it.
Diet Cokes don't count. So Nikki, I'm going to throw it over to you. We are joined here by Michelle Kramer from On Angels Wings, so take it away.
Michelle, welcome. It's wonderful to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. It looks like this is your first Give STL Day. That's very exciting. Tell us a little bit about what motivated you to participate this year.
Well, our organization provides support for families facing the loss of a child or who have a terminally ill child. And we serve, of our service, 35 to 40% of what we do is in the St. Louis area. So it really was important to us that we start to work towards raising awareness in the community about the needs of our organization.
Very cool. Well, tell us, like I said, a little bit more about what you do and who you're serving, and not just here in St. Louis, but it sounds like beyond this area.
Yeah, so we serve the entire state of Missouri, and we actually have 6 out-of-state chapters. We provide ongoing mental health and grief recovery services for these families. We start with free professional photos. We have over 130 volunteer photographers, with about 20 of those in the St. Louis community. And we work with 6 hospitals there in St. Louis to come in and do pictures for the families if their child is facing a life-limiting diagnosis, they're born super early, those little micro preemies who have a long journey ahead of them, or the family has lost a child during the birth process. And so we do those photos for them, and then we offer ongoing support services, trying to build a community because it's a very lonely space for them. And we have a dedicated grief recovery team with 4 certified grief recovery specialists offering free grief recovery services as well.
Nikki, let's take a look at the video that this organization sent over.
Thank you, Chris. That was such a powerful video and highlighted that you are doing all of this work for free.
Yes, absolutely. Our families face so much financial hardship in dealing with the loss of a child or a medically fragile child, and pictures tend to be a luxury for them. And so we want to make sure that that is not something that they have to avoid, that they can mark their child and celebrate their life. And then many of our families take advantage of our grief recovery program because they can't afford a therapist. And so we want to make sure that everything that we have and that they have access to is free of charge.
That's so important, and to support these families that are going through probably the most difficult time in their lives. Tell us a little
Absolutely.
bit about, some of those needs that you see popping up that these Give STL Day dollars that are unrestricted would be able to, gaps that they might fill.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things is that we're seeing exponential growth in all of the communities we serve, including St. Louis. Like I mentioned, we partner with 6 hospitals in the area. And then we're also seeing a bit of awareness increase so that people are contacting us without that hospital referral. And so as we grow, not only in the St. Louis community, but in all the communities we serve, we need more unrestricted dollars to help cover staff expenses, to help us expand our staff so that we can handle the volume. We don't ever want to turn a family away because we don't have enough manpower. We want to make sure that we can schedule those sessions, that we can schedule those grief programs, that we can implement opportunities for them to get together through events and community opportunities, so all without the family suffering because we don't have enough people to do all the work. We want to make sure that everything is available to them without charge again.
Wow, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Tell us a little bit more about the staff that you have that is serving these families.
Well, I am the only full-time staff member as executive director of the organization. I do have a couple of part-time staff members, and we do have a few contracted freelance individuals that are helping us fill the gaps and things that I just can't seem to fit in one day. But again, we are in a place now where we're growing so rapidly that we definitely need more people than just me here full-time.
Thank you for highlighting that, because I think it's such an important message that a lot of these organizations that participate in Gives Day either have no full-time staff or maybe 1 or 2 people that are doing this work and serving these communities. So your investment really is an investment not only in the people that these folks are serving, but in the staff themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted us to know about your organization before we have to let you go, so you can continue on with a successful, hopefully, Give Day?
Yeah, we just again highlighting the fact that 35 to 40% of the work that we do is in the St. Louis area. So it is it's our second largest service area in all of them. And so we just really want to find more connections within that community, not only with donors, but with other partner organizations, other ways that we can serve families as a cohesive unit and make sure that their process is as painless as possible in the midst of the most unimaginable circumstances.
Wow. Thank you so much for doing the work that you're doing and for supporting these families during the toughest time
in their lives.
Thank you so much. And we wish you best of luck today on Give Day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined now by St. Charles County Fire Rehab. We have John and Mark here to talk a little bit more about your work. We have some real heroes in the building today, which is always exciting to see. The variety of people that come through during Give Day.
But before we talk, we have a few of the photos of the work that
we're seeing firsthand some of the work you guys are doing out in the community. What are we looking at, guys?
Typically, our classic mission involves rehab for firefighters after they've been in structure fires, come out dehydrated and needing to rehydrate and get some electrolyte replacement and boost their carbs and proteins a little bit. So that's our main mission.
Wow, tell us a little bit about how, who you're partnering with in order to reach the firefighters that need this sort of support as they're, again, coming out from being heroes.
It sounds like a bit of a history question.
Not a lesson.
Not a lesson, just a history. We were originally covered in the county by the American Red Cross. Unfortunately, in 2014, they had to close up their shop in St. Charles County, which then eliminated our rapid needs to serve these firefighters. So we were tasked the following year to put together this organization. We were 100% volunteer, 100% donation supported, and we serve 11 fire departments in our county of 30,000 people. We respond to maybe 60 fires a year, structure fires a year, and take care of their needs.
Wow, that's such another good lesson for folks at home that, a lot of times nonprofits are being born out of necessity, right?
That's exactly it.
You pivoted and you made this work so that you can continue to support those folks that still need your help in the community.
In addition to the firefighters, we also, a smaller portion of our mission is to support the clients, the victims of fires, to help them get restarted back into recovery and society by providing them information, some necessary needs, hygiene kits, some clothing, shoes, because everything they had is gone. So we get them started.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit. You're a mini organization. You have no paid staff. Tell
Correct.
us about how those dollars that you're raising today, how those are going to impact the work that you do and what that
That's
investment will
a John
look like.
question.
So the organization is about 25 individuals from a broad background. We've got retirees, we've got some work in IT. So the team we have, as again we mentioned, it's volunteers. There's an immediate passion and fall in love with this job. Mark spent 38 years in the fire service, retired battalion chief, and he actually founded the organization. We were founded in 2015, so we've been going on for 10 years. And we've evolved, every other year we've evolved to just bigger and bigger and bigger. I think we kind of got popular. We've essentially doubled the amount of responses, we've doubled the amount of crews that we rehab. And not that these numbers we're trying to break records or anything, because 0 fires is what we want. But yeah, fundamentally, from a fundraising standpoint, we have been taken care of by the Chiefs Association of St. Charles County, the Emergency Chiefs Association. And 2 years ago, we were under the umbrella of a couple of the fire departments as we were growing up. And the decision was made to make us independent. So we had to put our big boy pants on, which means insurance for our vehicle, it means fuel, maintenance, all the big costs. And it also means keeping afloat of all the consumables. So over the last 5 years, our fire crews have consumed 2,800 gallons of Gatorade. And we've probably helped out about 400 victims that we've turned into clients. So we need funding to keep us active. We can't ever be out of service. It's kind of funny when we radio in that we're going to go on scene, and the truck gets there, and these crews just start to, it's like cattle. They start to just wander over and go, and we open the doors. They're like, "Can we get some Gatorade? Can we get some nutrition?" So it's an expectation now that we attend, and then the other side, as Mark was saying, is we take care of the families. It's 2 a.m. The house is burnt down, and they have nothing, and they will look you in the eye and say, "What do I do now?" So there's numerous resources we have on our truck, and it goes from clothing, scrubs, footwear, pet supplies, baby supplies, diapers, baby food. In the video there was a bearded dragon. There's nothing we haven't come across. So every time we think of something or we couldn't give a resource to a victim, it's on the truck the next day. So we want to be there for our community when it really matters the most.
Absolutely.
It is arguably probably the worst day of their lives, and we can't ever stop doing what we're doing. It's not a very well-known type of agency across the nation. There's quite a few of us out there, but I think what we do is unique, very special, and everyone does it simply to give back, for nothing else, just to give back.
Absolutely. Nobody could imagine being in that position of, losing everything to a fire, but to know that there's someone to support you, and that your community has invested in you and in response is so important.
Yeah. So definitely fundraising today. This is brilliant. This is the first year we've taken part, and it's humbling seeing all the other charity organizations and what they do. There's so much good in this St. Louis area, and to kind of be part of that community is pretty special. So yeah.
Welcome to the Give STL Day family.
Thank you.
Glad to be back next year as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Once you're in, right,
Yeah,
Nikki?
absolutely. Once you're in, you're hooked. You can't stop.
Right.
We appreciate it. Sorry, we got to cut this short.
Yes, sir.
But we are out of time, so we'll say thank you guys for coming again.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Nikki, it is Give STL Day 2025 live here from the St. Louis Community Foundation. We'll bring the mics back up, and we're going to bring on our 4:18 p.m. Organization, and that is Kindness.
Cool.
We have Kindness Begins with Me. Yes, I'm joined here by Jessica and Tony from Kindness Begins with Me. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have our nonprofit friends here today. Tell us a little bit about what Kindness Begins with Me does and how you serve the folks in our community.
Sure, so we're a nonprofit that works with refugee women and refugee families. Our mission is to connect refugees to one another and to the greater St. Louis community. We work primarily with Afghan, Syrian, and Iraqi refugees who have just recently, as in the last 6 months, arrived in St. Louis.
And that's a fun fact about St. Louis that a lot of people don't know about is we are a refugee resettlement city. We are welcoming families who are leaving the most traumatic experiences into our community to build new lives and integrate themselves. So tell us a little bit about how you do that, like how you get into that work with these families.
Yeah, so we've got 4 main programs. I'll talk about a couple and then Tony will talk about a couple. We have an English class, we have a permanent driving class, we have a women's social group, and we have a Ready Youth Boys. So our English class is on Thursday evenings, and it serves roughly 200 refugees each week with 20 consecutively or simultaneously occurring English classes that range from pre-K through our adult language learners. And then when they finish English class with us, we have connections at WashU with the Empower program. And so a lot of our refugee women who graduate from us go to WashU to participate in the Empower program. And our permit and driving class is exactly what it sounds like. It's to facilitate transportation independence. We teach a 10-week permit course. At the end of it, we support the women in getting their driving permits and then coach them on practical driving skills. Tony, you want to talk about the Ready Board?
I love to talk about the Ready Board. So, again, my name is Tony Zliczynski. I am the volunteer coordinator, Nikki, with Kindness Begins with Me. So while I like to talk about all of our volunteers and all the great works they do, because truly we are a volunteer army to get our mission accomplished, I'd like to spotlight kind of our Ready Board. And what our Ready Board is, it's the refugee education and Development Youth Board, so that's an acronym for READY. And that READY board is made up of students from 15 to 25-year-olds. We are now over 100 members strong, which is insane, right? In just a year's time, we're 100 members strong on that board. And it was really established with the primary objective or goal to have student volunteerism help serve each other, help serve the refugees and our greater St. Louis metropolitan area. So what's unique about our little READY board is that these students represent like WashU School of Medicine, SLU Law, we have students in undergraduate, we have students who are in high schools, private high schools. As a matter of fact, we have 45 from Narinx, go Markers, yay kids. And what's unique, I think, about our board is that we have about a dozen kiddos from the St. Louis public schools, which I think is tremendous. Some of our READY board members have actually been first-generation students themselves, and they just want to give back to our community, but generally they're all there with just a heart of gold, trying to help out in any way they can.
We couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely not.
That's so incredible. Youth voice is so important, and it's so wonderful to see, you know, when adults recognize how important that perspective and seeing things from a youth lens is.
And that energy, right, they bring. It's amazing.
Nikki, I don't want to interject, but I'm going to interject real quick just to let you know that we just surpassed another milestone. 10,000 donors.
Yay! That's so
During
exciting.
Give STL Day. 10,000 donors and counting.
That's awesome.
That's
Well
very
done, St.
exciting.
Louis.
Well, tell us a little bit more about what Give STL Day means to you and what you will use your funds that are raised today, like how those will be invested in your work.
So like Tony said, we are really, really volunteer led. I'm our only full-time staff member. We have 2 part-time staff members, and then we have a whole volunteer army. Our Give STL Day funds are a big chunk of our yearly budget. We're a small organization. We have some grant funding, but we really rely on the goodness of our greater St. Louis community. This is our second Give STL Day participating, and our READY board has really shown out. We had our high school kids probably recruit about 85 individual donors so far for us, just our high schoolers. So that's been fun. We're like pushing our way to the top of the leaderboard in our chunk for individual donors, and we are excited about that.
That's so exciting. And I love the message of getting students out in the community to raise awareness about philanthropy too, and how important that is about, you know, setting aside time and talent and energy and funding to invest and to be a part of the community like that.
Yeah, and between the donors so far, we've actually had one donor come out and purchase our English class curriculum for the whole next year. One donor done because of Give STL today. So
That's
very, very
amazing.
excited
We
for us.
love stories like that. That's
It's
why we
amazing.
do this work. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for being here
yeah, thanks
and
for
for
having
sharing
us.
your stories with us. And best of luck with the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Fingers
Enjoy.
crossed.
Thanks for coming, guys. Back in 60 seconds.
Well, you have some fun little comments. Yeah, I love to see the chat. This is new.
Nikki, we're back. It is Give STL Day 2025 live. This is the 4 p.m. live stream. Crank that music down a little bit. You can see 3 orgs down, 4 to go here in our 4 p.m. hour. And next up, we have our friend Jimmy from the Endangered Wolf Center. So take it away, Nikki.
We're really excited to be here with Jimmy and a very unique organization, the Endangered Wolf Center. And we'll pull some pictures up of the work that you do and let you, Jimmy, talk a little bit more about what it is that the Endangered Wolf Center does and how you how you invest in the community.
Of course. So the Endangered Wolf Center, we've been around for more than 50 years. And we work with 8 different species, from a little tiny fennec fox that's about 2 pounds to a maned wolf that's almost as tall as this table. And it's just so special too, because these are some of the most endangered animals on the planet. So that footage you're looking at right now, that is from the Mexican wolf. And at one point, there are only 7 Mexican wolves left in the entire planet. Right now, there's more than 280 of them in the wild, and they can all trace their roots right back to the Endangered Wolf Center. So we talk about Give STL Day, how it's a community effort. If it wasn't for community efforts, then these animals you're watching on your screen right now might have gone extinct. So it's just so cool to see that community involvement.
Wow, that is some really powerful work to know that you have brought a species back from the brink of extinction.
You know, sometimes we say, you know, we the Endangered Wolf Center, but really it's we the community, and that's what's so cool.
Yeah, and that's such a great message too. I mean, for those of you at home that are watching these videos, they're wonderful to see these little tiny wolves and their families romping through the wilderness. Yeah, and it is a community effort. It takes a village to make all of this happen. Tell us a little bit more about like what Gives Day means to you and how funds that are raised today will impact your work.
So our spring fundraiser is actually called Hope in Bloom, and it's just so fitting. I mean, right outside these gardens here, you see the flowers blooming, but it's also puppy season at the Endangered Wolf Center. So wolf pups are born in spring. We might have some expectant mothers, so definitely keep an eye on our social media and things like that, because hopefully we're going to have some new paws on the ground in the coming weeks, which is so special too. Last year we had 7 Mexican wolf puppies, so it's just such a cool and exciting kind of full circle moment. And that's what those funds are going towards this year, is our Mexican wolf program.
That's really exciting. And this is happening right here in our region.
Yeah, right in Eureka, right down the road.
Rehabbing, you are bringing species back from the brink of extinction right here.
Exactly. You know, there's a quote that I love that we've had in the office recently, and it just is that endangered means there's still time. And that's what's so special. Again, a species that only had 7 individuals left. And again, it's a community effort. We have things like summer camp, tours, our evening wolf howls, volunteers. So really, there's so many opportunities for people to get involved too.
I love that message that there's still time. That's such an important message and such a strengths-based way to approach a problem, right? We don't have to just give into that problem. We can affect change, but it takes our community. It takes us all investing in that.
And we talk about that hope and bloom, right, too. So that's what's really special. We can focus on these positive conservation achievements. It's always more exciting than looking at the negative. So Mexican wolf populations, I believe it's 9 years in a row now that we've seen that population go up. So it's just so cool to have a good success story on a nice sunny day like today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it is, understanding that you can't bring your clients, the who you work with,
clients
into
is a good
the
way
office.
To put it. I like that.
we do see a lot of animals come through for Gives Day, but obviously.
And that's what's interesting is you think of the big bad wolf and Little Red Riding Hood, but wolves are really shy. They definitely wouldn't thrive in this kind of environment. They're definitely a lot better suited back at the center.
They wouldn't like our music and our balloons and our fanfare here for Give STL Day.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, Patrick was just asking if we could have had a wolf running around here. I was like, I don't know.
I think my little stuffed animal friend will do it justice too for today.
Well, I'm so sorry. I almost lost track of my question, but I was going to say, where can people go to learn more about those tours, educational opportunities, like all of the ways that you can get involved in the Endangered Wolf Center beyond giving on Give STL Day?
So definitely our website, endangeredwolfcenter.org. Our social media is always great too. We're always posting new updates and things like that. I think I saw our Facebook scroll across with your new comment section. And of course, our Give STL website has more information and ways you can donate to. We're really proud of the success we've had this year, and we're hoping to finish strong too.
Yeah, and what a great place to highlight those successes. We really appreciate you coming today and talking about the work that you do and the change that you're affecting in the community.
And again, it's all a community effort. Even though we work with species from so many different continents, it all starts right here in St. Louis. So it's so cool. Our original founders, Marlon and Carol Perkins, I just know they'd be so proud of all that progress we've been able to make, and it's so cool just to have everyone be able to leave their own legacy at the Endangered Wolf Center.
Absolutely, and to see the legacy that St. Louis is leaving too. I mean, we do such cool work in this community, and sometimes so quietly. So
I've been only in St. Louis for about 3 years now, and Give STL Day, I've never really seen anything like it. I have to mark my calendar every year now. It's just so cool. I learn about so many other nonprofits and other ways that people get involved. So it's just a really inspirational kind of day, which is great. great.
It really is, and that it is. It's a learning day for all of us, and thank you so much for coming and chatting.
Of course, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and best of luck.
Thank you. You're always welcome out at the center, too.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Give STL Day is powered by the St. Louis Community Foundation. Thank you to our giving partner, the Burgess Family Foundation. We proudly recognize our sponsors, whose generosity helps make this day possible. Our gateway sponsor, Purina. Our community sponsors include Watlow, More Computing, the St. Louis Business Journal, 5 on Your Side, St. Louis Magazine, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Fox 2 News and KPLR 11, and Cardinals Care. We're also grateful to our friends of Give STL Day, First Alert 4, and DDI Media. And finally, our local heroes, St. Louis American, Clifton Larson Allen LLP, Wildflower Communications, and George Sells Media. Thank you to all of our sponsors and partners for making Give STL Day a success.
Our 4:31 p.m. organization is here in the room, Nikki, and she's ready to go. It is Ready Readers. So, Nikki, I'm going to throw it right back over to you, and as we keep this train rolling.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Angela from Ready Readers. This is actually their second trip to the office today. We had another group from Ready Readers here earlier when KSDK was here, which was really exciting. So tell us a little bit about the work that you do and how you are encouraging literacy here in the community.
Our Ready Reader shares the joy and the power of reading with young children in our community. And it's both. Reading is so much fun. It brings joy to my life. It brings joy to children's lives. It's all about relationship. But reading is also powerful. It can change lives. We know that if children can read at grade level, they are more likely to graduate from high school, to have a better paying job. They have better health outcomes, which means better life outcomes. They are less likely to be involved in the criminal justice system. And so reading is both joy and powerful.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it changes. It completely changes an individual and a community. So tell us, like, how do you do that? Like, what does that work look like for you?
Yeah, so for Ready Readers, our work is both in the classroom and in the community. Our classroom work reaches more than 16,000 children throughout our region. And we have volunteers who go into early childhood classrooms every week, and they do a story time. So I go in every week, and the children know me by name. I know them by name. They're like, Miss Angela's here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not that exciting, but it's lovely to be wanted and be treated like a hero. So I walk in, I call children by name, we sing some songs, we read some stories, end with some songs or finger plays, like rhyming sounds and finger plays are really, really important. I'm just doing itsy bitsy spider motions here, right? Because it turns out like finger plays like that are really important when you're trying to help a child learn how to turn the pages of a book, right? You need those fine motor skills. And so volunteers go in and they do that with classrooms. As part of that work, they distribute 7 books each year for children's home libraries. We do a lot of supports for teachers, curriculum materials, and things like that. And then our community work supports community festivals that are going on. We table at all kinds of events. Again, tips for parents, for caregivers, and books for kids' home libraries is the main focus of our work.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting. And you say, you know, as a volunteer, you probably are a little bit of a celebrity to those kids, right?
You are. I mean, they're so excited to have a visitor to their classroom, right? And I come every Monday, so they know me. They know what it means when I come in, that we're going to do story time. They love singing head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So they know that they're going to get to move, but they're going to get a story. Sometimes they get a book. So they are really excited about story times.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's just a little break in their day to do something new and have a new face. You know, pay attention to them and really want to invest in them, which is so important.
Right.
Well, tell us about what Give STL Day means to you and what it looks like for you raising funds, like what those funds might be used for.
Right. It's so helpful for us. I brought some examples of some of our board books. These are called board books. These are books for babies, infants, toddlers. They are made of thicker paper, right? So because where's the first thing young children do? They put this in their mouth or whatever, right? So board books are made to withstand use and abuse by 0, 1, and 2-year-olds. And these books are more expensive to purchase. So it's harder for families to have access to these, and it costs more for us to get them. So all of the funds today are supporting our board books. This supports more than 2,000 infants and toddlers in our program, and we are so excited about this. I love this little peekaboo book. It's got this moving thing. Again, this is so great for young fingers to have to move, but books with this kind of a moving mechanism are, again, really expensive. So the support from today helps us fund the board books. Again, these are books going into children's homes. We distribute more than 140,000 new books each year in our region, and so this is a part of it.
And this is such an important message because learning doesn't stop at that classroom door. The learning continues at home, and it really gives that parent and that child an opportunity to connect on something like this.
It totally does. And in all of our books, we're going to have notes for parents about tips for talking to their children. So an example in this book, right? The notes are in English and in Spanish. Just simple tips for parents in reading with their children, talking to their children about the book. It's really helpful.
Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And tell our listeners about more how people can come to learn more about your organization and maybe become a volunteer, give some of that talent and that time that we talk about.
We would love that. We talk all the time that we are centered on children, right? That's the reason we exist, but we are powered by volunteers. We have more than 270 volunteers who go into classrooms every day. We could place 500 volunteers if we had them, so we always need volunteers. So more information about that or about our organization at our website, which is just readyreaders.org. And you can find more information there about giving to Give STL Day, about volunteering, everything you would need to know.
Oh, so exciting. Thank you, Angela, for being here with us. And for those of you at home, if you are interested in literacy in our community and investing in that, go to readyreaders.org or go to givestlday.org to donate today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Nikki, let's take a look out there in the atrium. Looks like we're getting ready for a party here in a little bit. Should be a great time here at the foundation. But we're not done yet. We'll be back in 60 seconds with our next group of this hour, which is the St. Louis Community College Foundation.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, there was
We still believe in the power of education to lift us up, to challenge assumptions, expand minds, change lives, and empower communities. We don't believe in education for any. We believe in education for all. Education on your schedule, in your neighborhood, at your pace. That's education for the modern world. That's education for life. St. Louis Community College.
We are back here with the St. Louis Community College Foundation. I have Keith and Camille here with us to talk more about the work of the St. Louis Community College Foundation and how you support the work of St. Louis Community College.
Nikki, thank you so much for having us. My name is Camille Pope. I am the annual fund coordinator for the foundation, and this is Dr. Keith Robender, and he will share a little bit more information about his role here today. I am in charge of all of the fundraising for the foundation in terms of Give STL Day and other events, all of our special events. So we're here today to talk about our Student Access and Resource Center and why we participate in Give STL Day. The mission of the foundation is to raise money for student scholarships and student programs at St. Louis Community College. And
So I'm Keith Robitaille. I'm the Vice President of Student Support Programs, and I oversee the Student Advocacy and Resource Centers, which is our one-stop shop for kind of wrapping our arms around our students and making sure that we provide for their unmet basic needs. And so we have clothing closets, food pantries, advocacy services, support, and we provide students who are having crisis with access to emergency funding through the foundation.
This is such an important message because we do scholarships here at the Community Foundation, and one of the things, messages that we push a lot is that just because a student has a scholarship or has the money to pay tuition doesn't mean that they have that money to feed themselves, to pay for that apartment, to pay for those books, to pay for the computer. And it sounds like those are the sort of things that you are making sure those gaps are filled.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things we tell our students all the time is that life happens. And it happens to all of us, but when you're living on the edge and you don't have that safety net, if you're spending all your money on, living month to month, one car breakdown can cause you to not be able to get to class. We have students who, their child gets sick and they can't go to work. They're just, life unexpectedly creates a challenge, and we can help them. We do that through relationships. So I think that one of the most important ways we help our students is by getting to know them, problem solving, helping them figure out what the solution is. But sometimes for our students that are really living in poverty, the solution is a little extra money. And we couldn't do that without the donors to our foundation and through Give STLC.
Absolutely, and you're really creating that continuity for that educational experience for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Our students regularly tell us, I'm at the end of my rope and I don't know where else to turn. And when they get referred to us, we are able to give them that breathing room to just realize, I can do this and I can make it through. And then they have that confidence to get back to class, because learning algebra is hard. But it's even harder when you don't know where your next meal's coming from, or that you don't have a place to sleep tonight. So we need to get those basic needs covered so that students can then invest in their own learning and get to graduation, get a better paying job, and really move forward in their life.
Absolutely, and we talk so much about investing in this community so that this community can then continue to invest in itself, and that's exactly what you're doing here.
Yes. So the requests come from the SARC office to the foundation, and we see requests that we don't know the student's background. That all information is all kept confidential to us. We just see the amount, and then we do the background processing, and then the request gets approved, and then we send the payment back to the SARC office, who provides it to the student. So there's that barrier there for privacy, and of course there's no shaming or anything involved. Sometimes you just need to come forward and say, I really need to keep my electricity on so that I can take my student loaner laptop so that I can be able to finish my class. So it's just that little boost.
Absolutely, and to be able to do that work and give those students dignity and make sure that they know that it's okay to ask for help, and it is the right thing to do, to go to your community to get that barrier removed, or whatever that looks like for you.
Yes.
It gives them a peace of mind. I think our students that we are able to give funding to, sometimes it's a very low amount. I mean, they need that extra $200 to get a new car battery. But they don't know where they're going to get it. And when we can give them that peace of mind, you can just see the relief as that weight is lifted off their shoulders. And then that gives them the confidence that the college cares about us. And I think that is one of the things that I'm most proud of about working at St. Louis Community College, is that culture of care we have for our students. We are committed to our students, and that's how we're committed to the St. Louis larger community, is building that capacity.
And that's such a wonderful message for today, that even $10 can really help invest in a student and put them on a path to success and self-sufficiency.
Yes.
And I think that we don't just give money, we give that emotional support. We also help people with financial planning, with literacy skills, so that ultimately they are able to get ahead of that and not be in crisis. And that's that whole package. It's that wraparound services that I think makes it work.
Wow, thank you guys for doing the work that you're doing, and for to the whole St. Louis Community College network, because you really are doing such great work in this community and investing and really preparing the next generation.
Yes.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, and good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Back in 60 seconds.
Nikki, it was
I'm
good
1
to
minute
see
behind.
you.
Yes, good to see you too. I'm 1 minute behind. I don't want Chris to yell at me. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. We are joined now by Kaylee from Gateway 180 to talk a little bit more about their work and how Give STL Day funds will be put to good use in our community. Welcome, Kaylee. Thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I am Kaylee. I am the Fundraising and Communication Manager for Gateway 180. We are Missouri's largest family shelter. We serve women, children, and families, inclusive of men. And we are so excited to be a part of Give STL Day and do all of that.
Wow, you really do tough work getting families housed and not only providing that emergency response, but also, you know, sort of setting them on that path to become self-sufficient and getting into a more permanent housing.
Yeah, absolutely. We are very housing focused. We have individualized case management because we do realize that not every situation is exactly the same. No situation is the same, and each individual has different traumas and different struggles. So we really focus on getting them into their permanent housing option and working with them as an individual to do that.
Yeah, and it's very tough work. You know, housing is one of those things that you know, if it's off track, it really throws everything in that family's experience off track.
Absolutely, and
I mean, and we are seeing like costs rising and families experiencing even more barriers to having that safe, permanent home or place to call home.
Yes, absolutely. Just in 2024, we served 421 individuals in the St. Louis community. Not only the St. Louis city, but as well as the county. And out of those 421, over 50% of them were under 18.
Wow, it's such a good message for our audience to learn more about, is that young people are so vulnerable to homelessness, you know, coming out of the foster care system or what that might look like. Tell us a little bit more about how you serve young people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of great partnerships at Gateway 180. For example, one of our great volunteer groups is a SLU tutoring program. So we have tutors come in twice a week to do mentoring and help the students get where they need to be. And we also have a Girl Scout troop that comes in once a month, and we do monthly birthdays. We do a lot of programming oriented towards children, as well as the single women and adults that we serve as well, whether that be financial workshops, educational workshops, job trainings, resume building, just a combination of getting them to where they need to be.
Wow, your staff does a lot, it sounds like, to respond to just about any and every need that might pop up.
Oh, absolutely. And not even just when the clients are in shelter, we also have a newly formed post-shelter case management program, because we do realize that the shelter lifestyle may not be the best for everybody. So we get an individual, and if they don't work out of the shelter, we work with them even out of the shelter to get to where they need to be with stability. Or just they can come in, and if they need a backpack for their kids' school, or if their pantry is a little low, they can come to our fully stocked pantry and get whatever they need to make sure they stay out of homelessness.
Well, tell us about some of those needs that you see popping up, sort of those gaps that you have that Give STL dollars might help, fill.
Yeah, absolutely. $5 is a meal for a family. $10 is a warm bed and a safe shelter. Sorry, guys, a safe shelter. So, no matter how small or how big the donation is, it's doing something to stop the homelessness in the St. Louis area, which is huge.
I love that message. The thing I love most about Gives Day is that it really is about that average everyday donor that might not have $1 million, that may only have $10 to spare. But I love this message that $10 can absolutely make a difference in someone's life.
And not even just the monetary value. Sharing a post on Instagram or Facebook and getting the message out to others is huge.
Absolutely. We always talk about time and treasure and talent as well.
Yes.
And how important it is you can invest in your community in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be by, a check or getting your credit card out. You can give your time, you can give your talent to that community as well.
Yes, absolutely.
If people are interested in volunteering or supporting Gateway 180 in other ways, how can they do that?
Yeah, we have an amazing volunteer coordinator, Robin. They can reach out at via our email, which is also on our website, info@gatewayhomeless.org, and we will get you in contact with Robin. She will absolutely put you to work, whether that just be sanitizing or, creating that partnership, or if you have a specialized skill like the financial literacy, that's an option as well. Painting, landscaping, it can literally be donation sorting. We have a need.
I love that about nonprofits. If you are willing to give your time and talent, they are willing to find a place for you to invest in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Kaylee, so much for being here today. We really appreciate you coming and talking more about Gateway 180, and we wish you a lot of luck today in your fundraising.
You too. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kaylee. All right, Nikki, we are just going to bring on one more special guest here. Do you recognize
I recognize this lady, yes.
Yes. Hey, Nikki, thank you so much for being here for 2 solid hours. Nikki picked up an hour that I was supposed to do but couldn't, so we really appreciate that. And we just want to remind everyone that there is plenty of time left to give. As Nikki said just a minute ago, no gift is too small. It can be a $10 gift or it can be a $100,000 gift. No gift is too big either. But please do think about it. We're at $2.4 million, and I would really love to see us get to 2.5 before the 5 o'clock hour. There's a lot happening here at the St. Louis Community Foundation. We have a mixer with about 95 people happening out in the other room.
You can see it out there now.
You can see it out there now. And these are nonprofits, about 50 nonprofits are here to learn about each other, think about how they might be able to collaborate, and just enjoy the day. So,
before we wrap up, Elizabeth, I don't mean to cut you off, but can you also speak to the importance of our sponsors, especially the Burgess Foundation?
Absolutely. So without our sponsors provide the prizes for things like the power hours. Any money that comes in from an external sponsor goes directly out to the nonprofits. They provide match funds, they provide power hours, all those things that we try to then turn around. We don't try to. We then turn around and get out to our nonprofits. So Burgess Family Foundation, this is their 5th year sponsoring us. They came forward in COVID in 2020. So I guess, 5th or 6th year. This is their 6th year as our presenting sponsor. And we just so appreciate that partnership that, the Burgess Family Foundation believes that everyone is a philanthropist, no matter how small. All it takes is a heart for community and a belief in a nonprofit organization that you already know, or maybe one that you've heard about and you want to get to know better, or maybe one that you had never heard of, that you didn't know and you find out about through Give STL Day. So anyway, we really encourage you. I can't say give early, give often anymore. I can say give late afternoon, give often. We're here for another.
It's almost 5 o'clock.
It's almost so 7 more hours. So it's almost 5 o'clock somewhere. If you're that person, enjoy an adult beverage. Yeah. If not, enjoy a nice cup of iced tea on this beautiful day.
Budweiser live stream drinking game maybe for the next couple hours?
Oh, I don't know. That's
on a school night, Chris?
It's a school night.
I'm allowed to say it.
You're allowed to say it. Chris can say that.
I'm not an employee. So.
Yeah, but anyway, so we so appreciate you all being with us for the live stream. We so want you to continue to open that checkbook or that credit card, www.givestlday.org. We're going to take a couple minutes break and then come back at 6:03 with the next, 5:03, sorry.
We'll be back at 5 o'clock to start our last two. Nikki, she's good, isn't she?
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun. This is my 4th year in a row, and I will volunteer every year with you.
Because Nikki's really good at this.
Yeah, Nikki, we're having fun out here, aren't we?
I mean, talking to nonprofits isn't even like work. I don't even feel like I'm working today, but somehow I'm still getting paid to be here. So I'm the lucky one, really.
That was probably the fastest 2 hours of your year.
It really is, honestly. It flew by.
It's the best. It's the best. We fight over who gets to do it. So.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Thank you so much, Nikki, for the last 2 hours. Elizabeth, for stopping back in. We'll let you go back out and have some fun. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes with our 5 p.m. broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Maurice texted me.